Hey guys, Spencer Kaufman here with How To Video Channel. Today we're going to show you how to recharge the air conditioner in a 2014 Hyundai Santa Fe. So the first thing you'll need is some refrigerant coolant. Here I've got Arctic Freeze. I bought the kind without a hose. You can also buy it with a hose, but if you already have a recharge hose, buying the can alone will save you some money. Now they have different size cans. This is important because depending on how much coolant you need in your vehicle, you will need a different size can, or you just need to closely watch the gauge. Now sometimes there are digital gauges, they are more accurate. So if yours is a regular gauge, you'll have to pay a little more attention, but it is pretty simple to read. They have the green, which means low, blue means filled. If you get to yellow, you got to stop, it's an alert. And red is too much. Now it's very important, you do not want to overcharge your coolant. So again, if you don't know how much, maybe you need to get a half can rather than a full can. There are also instructions on the back of the can to follow, so that's important. And then also on the hose, there are a little bit of instructions on there, or if the hose came with a tag, there are also instructions on there. So all kinds of instructions if this tutorial isn't enough for you. Now, the first thing you'll want to do after popping the hood is locate the low refrigerant cooling port. So if you look in the engine, there's usually an aluminum tube coil system. This would be the high port. It has an H, or hot sometimes also known as, so hot meaning stay away, but it's high because it's usually higher. This is low, usually it's lower, also it's low refrigerant, that's for charging it. This would be for more of a release if it's high. It means multiple things, but find the one with an L on it. Usually it's a blue or a green cap. You can see it's down there. So we're going to unscrew it. Now make sure that you have safety glasses on and everything just in case anything were to happen. Sometimes they are a little tight, so you might need a pliers or two hands depending on what the angle is. This one is really locked up, so I might need to get in there with a different angle. And then release that. Now if it is pressurized, you're going to hear a hiss. This one was very, very slight, very small, so it's pretty much empty. You'll know how full it is based on if you have any cold air coming out. So once you've exposed that, the next step that you need to do is to get in the vehicle, start the car, and turn on the AC to the coldest temperature. You also need to turn the blower on high and then let the car warm up and run to its normal operating temperature. You don't want to just start it and leave it. So we'll get in there, we'll start the car and show you the next steps. Alright, we are here in the vehicle. So the first thing again to do is start the car. So we'll just hit the button. Car is now running, and the next thing is to turn on the AC. So we've got the AC on. We want it the coldest possible temperature, so make sure it's all the way down. You can see right here we're on low AC. Then we want the blower all the way up, so it's real loud. Let that run, and then wait until the vehicle gets to the normal operating temperature. So you'll see that up here. When it gets up to the normal operating temperature, you are good to go. So we're going to let the car run and then continue with recharging the AC. Okay, here we are. We have the engine running. It is up to its normal temperature. One thing that's important to note is to leave the car doors open so that the AC continues to run and nothing happens internally with the blowers or any sensors. You want the air to continue circulating rather than creating an airlock in the vehicle. So keep the doors open. The next thing we need to do is check the type of connection you have on the end of your hose. Some of them screw into the low port, others snap on like an air compressor. This one snaps on, so you open it up, push it on, and release. Then we are going to make sure that we've removed all of the safety features and precautions on the can. So there's no plastic here, there's no plastic preventing the hose, everything is good. Then we will screw the hose on. So we'll get that lined up properly. Screw that on, make sure it's a good tight fit. Also, make sure you've shaken the can really well because you want it to be mixed up properly. Read the instructions on the back of the can and make sure you follow them accordingly. Get the light situated here so we can see what we're doing. And now we will snap this on. Light's not cooperating here with the running engine. All right. Get that down there, push it on good, let that snap, and then kind of pull it up a little bit. Make sure it's on. We're good. So now we can see the gauge moving. It's green, it's low. You also want to make sure to rotate the can back and forth as it is running. So as the air conditioner runs, it is sucking in this and recharging the air conditioner. So make sure you're rotating it. Also give it some shakes. You want it to be moving. Keep it moving well. Keep an eye on that gauge. It still says low. When it gets up to about 35, the middle of the blue is when we are going to release this. So it's probably going to take the whole can because this is a very, very empty and warm vehicle. Now, you'll notice the weight of the can as you're filling it up. If it feels like it's getting empty, you can stop. If your gauge turns, obviously, you can stop. But this process will probably take about 5 to 15 minutes. So we will just give it a few more minutes so you can kind of see the process. And then if it's continuing, we'll pause the video and come back when it is done and show you the disconnecting process. Okay, so here we go. It's been about 15 minutes. We've been moving the can back and forth. You can see now we are in the blue area, so it is time to disconnect. All we need to do is lift this off, and then you can see the gauge will go immediately back down to 0. So we're empty. This is empty. To take this off, just unscrew it, no big deal, and then you can throw away the can in the garbage or recycle, whatever works for your area. Once you're done with all of that, make sure you haven't lost this cap. You can screw that back on. Get that back on nice and tight so you don't leak, because if you have this not lined up properly or not screwed on properly, then you will leak your refrigerant. So as you can see there, it's a little crooked. We'll get that back on nice and straight. Be careful because everything down here now is hot that it has been running. So there, we've got that on, and now you will have ice cold air conditioning. So that is it. That is how to recharge your air conditioning coolant in a 2014 Hyundai Santa Fe. So I hope you like this video. Click on the like button below. Also hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of future videos. If you do so and hit the subscribe button, please comment below saying you subscribed. Thank you.